Hi, welcome to Singletrack World. I'm Hannah.
I'm Mark.
And we have with us today the Bluetti AC180. Now then, I've actually been using this for all this weekend. And you got to witness it in action. But basically, Mark's role here is he used to be a physics teacher. And so he understands all about the numbers and the technical stuff. Yeah. Whereas I have been using this thing. And I'm really impressed.
What is it?
It's a massive battery pack, a power station that you can take with you wherever you like. So
it's huge.
It is, but it's got a huge amount of power contained in there. Do you want to explain a little bit about the numbers? Because I'm better at words.
Right, so this has got enough power to, well, it's rated on the front. It actually says on the front. So I will show you a close-up of it here, but it's 1,152 watt hours of capacity, because that's important. Now then, just to give a bit of context for our listeners who may be familiar with how e-bikes work, if you have a full power e-bike with a 720 watt hour battery, then this is going to charge that completely from flat all the way to full, and you're going to have a whole bunch of energy left in there for doing things like charging your phones. Right. So the simple equation is, look at your battery pack for your e-bike. So if it's like, if I got my numbers correct, if it's a Turbo Levo Specialized SL, it's about 325 watt hours. Divide that into the 1,152 and you can get at least 3 full charges and still have some power left in this thing to go. So This thing can charge your e-bike, depending on the e-bike, up to 3 times.
Right. So I think that I've made bad life choices having got this, because I've just bought a van and I've got all the wiring in it and a leisure battery in it, and I've just replaced the leisure batteries because the one that it came with was dead. And actually, I could just have got one of these and it would have done the same thing and given me the same van life experience, but I wouldn't have had to carry a battery around when I'm taking the kids to school.
Yeah, indeed. The other important number to take into account with this is the one on the front that says 1,800 watts. That's how much energy it can put out at once. Right. So if you've got an electrical device that's rated to 1,800 watts, this thing will happily power that without breaking a sweat.
Now then, before we continue, I'm going to perform a little trick. I'm going to make a Pop-Tart.
Before you do that, we've got a toaster here. That toaster's rated at 2,300 watts, but this is only rated at 1,800 watts. How does that work?
Because in here, there are powerlifting gnomes. I told you Mark was here to do the science. It has a power lift function, okay? And it's going to put out more watts for a short period of time. So you can't run a washing machine, but if you take a washing machine with you camping, you're doing camping wrong. Okay, the whole point is to leave the laundry at home. But you can run a toaster or a kettle.
Because a toaster and kettles don't run continuously. They run for short periods of time. And this thing. So we're going to test this now with some Pop-Tarts.
So I'm going to put my Pop-Tarts in the toaster. Healthy breakfast on the way. Turn the AC on, because it's going to use the AC output. Hear it click. And then Pop-Tarts will be mine. Now then, one of the greatest joys of my van is that I don't have to put a stove on in the morning to make hot water for a kettle, or like a whistling kettle.
Yep.
With this, you could take a little travel kettle with you.
Yeah. Amazing.
So it's got the AC output. It's also got the DC, so you can put your USBs, charge whatever, your phones, your iPads, or you can put this. I didn't even notice this. You can put your phone on the top, and it's got one of those magic wireless charging facilities. It's also got the classic, like cigarette lighter kind of affair.
Who calls it a cigarette lighter?
Well, what is it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. But once upon a time, people smoked and there were cigarette lighters, and we still call it that. But so some of your like camping equipment, like a cool box, for example, might have that kind of plug on it, and so you can plug it in there.
How do you charge this thing up though once it's empty?
So you can charge it at home, stick it into the wall. Elves come through and into the box, and there they are ready to power it up. Or you can, if you're not as organised as that, you could charge it in your car as you're driving along. Or if you're moving from place to place, you can top it up, drive it then. Or you could buy a solar panel to go with it. Like,
oh,
look at that!
Breakfast is ready.
Yes. Now don't touch them.
No, they're like lava inside these things, aren't they? No.
They're lava. Yes. Just wait. But see, it works. So yeah, you can charge it with a solar panel, and they do a different range of solar panels, different sizes, whether you just want to kind of top up a little bit or you want to do a fast charge in like 4 hours. So if you've got a cheap energy tariff overnight as well, you could charge this up overnight at home, it'd be cheaper, and then you could use it during the day. Or like you've got solar panels, haven't you, at home?
Yeah,
so
we do.
You could charge it up at home, plugged in for free during the day, and then use stuff at night off it as well.
Yeah.
So the van life thing, you know, having the flexibility of turning your not full-on adventure wagon into having all those mod cons that you would normally take with you in a mobile home, that's one thing. Or you can take it camping, just take it out with you with a tent or whatever. But you could also turn your shed into something that has power.
This is a problem for people with e-bikes sometimes, isn't it? Yes.
So the data on e-bike charging has shown e-bike manufacturers that few people are actually taking their batteries out of the bikes to charge them. And that means that more and more manufacturers are designing their bikes to keep the batteries in. But if you've got a shed that doesn't have power to it, it means you've got to bring your whole bike into the house, mud and all, or you've got to pay for somebody to install power in your shed. And now you don't.
That's exactly my situation. I've got an Asgard metal shed at home. Doesn't have any power into it whatsoever. That's where the e-bikes sit. This would be perfect in an Asgard shed to charge up my bikes. This one's a big one. What's the price on this one?
This is an RRP of $1,099, which compares very favourably to all the installation gubbins that I had on my van.
Well, they do smaller versions as well.
They do, yeah. So if you don't need to go completely off-grid away from electricity for a whole weekend, you know, this has got, let's have a little look. Oh, we're down to 18% now after a whole weekend of use and some toast.
About 5% for Pop-Tarts. I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Allow yourself 5%.
Oh, I just forgot, because, you know, I'm not big on tech, as you well know. But there is an app that goes with this so that you can control it. Of course there's an app. And I was like, well, what would I want an app for? Because I can look on the front and I can see how much is in it and how many gnomes are left. But no, I realised that using the app, you can turn the AC or the DC on and off. So if you pack this into the back of your car or your van, and your cool box is also back then, you could just turn it on with your phone from the front.
So I presumably that's over Bluetooth, the connection. That would be perfect for me because my shed is out in...
You don't want to go out in the rain in your slippers.
I don't want to go out in the rain with my slippers to turn it on and off. I'd much rather, I could plug it in, and then at night or when, you know, whenever, I could just turn it on and it can charge my e-bike quietly. That's excellent.
Cool. Well, so there you go. The Bluetti AC180 plus others in the Bluetti range perform much the same function. Mark has been here to give me some much needed science on this video. Thank you, Mark. And I think it's time for breakfast.
I think it is. Do you think these will be edible?
Well, it's a Pop-Tart.
It's a Pop-Tart. Still, it's really warm.
It's not a healthy snack.
No, it isn't. Right. Okay, I'm going in.
It's still like lava.
It's so, so sweet.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.